Shopping for SUVs? Dublin Chevrolet will save you money.
Drive the all-new GMC Acadia for as low as $29,535.
Call, click, or come see us. Dublin Chevrolet, the only dealer you will ever need.
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, out to West Lawrence High School. We're here with head football coach Kagan McLean. And Coach McLean, you had a week off to try to heal up, try to get ready for, I guess, a fair opponent. You had good luck with them in the past, but you know it is a football game. You're sitting on an undefeated record right now, which feels real good. Be 3 in the season, and at this point you got people in the community talking about you. But let's start out, Coach, if we can, with what an open week's like, what you try to do during an open week besides heal up.
Right, yeah, I mean, obviously, like you said, we want to get guys healthy. We do a lot of fundamentals, a lot of working on ourselves in the open week. You know, defensively, we work a lot of tackling and basic fundamental drills. We don't really focus a whole lot on the opponent during the open week, other than we'll start introducing some things, especially some difficult concepts we think that are new that they need to understand. But really, it's all about ourselves, all about just cleaning up ourselves, making sure that our guys are doing the fundamental things that they need to be doing, and taking care of us.
Yeah. Coach, I was thinking an open week, you play 3 games, you start to see a couple of kids who are coming along. Right. You start to be encouraged by them. It may be an ideal time to really work with them and get a few things cleaned up that might take them into, you know, being able to play more for you,
right?
Be of more service to you.
Yeah,
do you
absolutely.
Have some kids like that?
Yeah, you know, in the open week we rotate a lot of guys into those periods. You know, we have those team periods and those 7-on-7 periods. We get a lot of different guys in there, different looks, different depths, to see what they can do, mix them in. Also to give our guys that are getting most of the reps some rest, you know, a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, we rotate a lot of guys, kind of evaluate a lot of guys and see, hey, who can help us if someone goes down, who can fit where if we need an extra piece. But it's a good opportunity to do that during that open week.
Yeah. And, Coach, you got to look at this heat factor, man. It's just hanging on. In the afternoon, it's 100 degrees, and you got kids out there running around in full gear most of the time.
Yeah, you got to be careful with it. You know, we've got the wet bulb, and we follow those guidelines strictly. We pretty much start every practice without any shoulder pads on during the hottest part, and we do all our individual work, our specialty periods where we're catching punts and returning kickoffs and doing things like that that are non-contact drills. We'll do all those in just helmets, you know, just to kind of because of the heat rules. And then as it starts to cool off a little bit and we get to the contact periods at the end of practice, you know, we'll take those water breaks and then we'll pad up and we'll go and do that. But, you know, we got to follow those guidelines very strictly, not just because it's the law, but it's what's best for the kids. Yeah. And so, you know, we make sure we check that wet bulb and we do that. And you'll see us out there early in practice in just helmets and at the end of practice in full pads.
Yeah. And I guess you try to get real personal with the kids. You want to learn what they're like and what their eyes look like, what their body language is like, because we have to be careful this day and time. We've seen some kids just fall out and nobody knew anything, and nobody wants that to happen. So I guess you got to really pay attention. It's a good lesson for us in all sports to pay attention to a young person, their habits, how much they sweat even. You know, some of us perspire quite a bit, Coach, and some people just don't sweat that much, you know, so you kind of learn that about you as you're going through. And, man, what a summer you went through, the heat. So you would think that the conditioning would be pretty good. How do you feel about that? And have you seen in the last 3 games or in practice more cramps than you like to see?
No, actually, we've been very fortunate. We haven't had any issues with really cramping. I mean, you know, I think the Dodge game, you know, we got several guys playing both ways too. You know, Daniel Dorsey, Shante Burney, playing running back and playing DB. And you'll see De'Eric on the offensive side, Daniel Lindo on the offensive side. So we've got some guys that are doing some two-way stuff, but we really haven't had any issues with guys having to sit out series because they're cramping or anything like that. I think part of it is the summer of acclimation. You know, our guys show up in the summer. We had 60-plus kids make men of summer again this year, which means They made 20 out of 23 workouts or whatever the numbers came out to be. So they're there in the summer. They're getting used to the heat. And once the body adapts, then we're able to deal with it a little better. Plus the hydration, back when I played and back when a lot of, us older guys played, water breaks were very few and very rare. And you just, you toughened up and you went after it.
Yeah.
But now, we put water breaks in every 20 minutes or so they're able to get hydrated. We're taking water around to the stations, so during group work, they're getting hydrated. And I think that's made a difference. And hydration's not just hey, I got to drink on Fridays because I got a game tonight. It's something you got to do week long. Yeah. And one of the big misconceptions is people think that that eating has nothing to do with it. We get a lot of our electrolytes from food. So with nutrition being the way it is now, where we're able to feed kids breakfast and feed them lunch and feed them before practice and do things like that, we're able to keep that food in them that a lot of them may not get at home, and that helps with the dehydration.
All right, Coach, just a second on that. Now, you telling me you feeding them, trying to make sure they get breakfast. Of course, you got a lunch, and you telling me you try to feed them before practices.
Yeah, our nutrition ladies in the lunchroom do a great job. They got a program where we are able to get our kids snacks and food before practice. So we go up there 4th block, bring it down. All our varsity guys are in 4th block weightlifting. So when weightlifting's over and we're done with film, they go ahead and eat and get ready for practice. So they're getting food in them right before they go out, which is big for having the energy you need, but also for being healthy and not getting your sugar getting low or your electrolytes getting low and you passing out or cramping up or things like that. So it's been a big thing. And that's statewide. Most people are doing that now. In fact, some of the bigger schools, they have their own nutrition centers where they'll be able to stock it for their athletes and things like that. And it's just the way that knowledge has increased. People understand a little more about the body and how it functions, and they're able to apply that to high school athletics the way colleges do on a smaller level.
Well, that's, we got to give a shout out for the lunchroom ladies.
Oh, yeah. They take care of us. They do a great job. Absolutely.
Absolutely. For sure. Hey, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with Coach McLean. You stay with us. This is the West Lawrence Rated Coaches Show.
Good afternoon. Sit Up Dublin Natural Gas Department. Yvonne speaking. How may I help you? You're smelling gas inside your house? Eric, at 709 Bell Drive. They're smelling gas inside their house. Could you go check it out, please?
10-4, I'll be en route.
One of our service personnel is being dispatched. At this time, please evacuate your home and move to a safe destination away from the potential gas leak. Do not light a match, turn on any electrical switches or devices. Do not hang up your phone, place it down and leave. And please do not re-enter your home until a leak investigation has been conducted by our gas department.
Mr. Cates, I'm Brad. This is Eric. We're with the City of Dublin Gas. Are you say you called us about smelling some gas?
Yes.
Everybody outside? Well, what we're going to do, Eric's going to go to the side of the house, check the meter out, make sure everything's okay, nothing's running through the meter. I'm going to check around the door, and then we'll go inside and kind of see what's going on.
Okay.
Mr. Case, we went inside and checked around the ceiling, pretty much everywhere, all your appliances, and it looks like you're in good shape. The reason that we check up high around the ceiling is natural gas is lighter than air. It's always going to rise. We checked all your appliances. Absolutely nothing was indicated as far as gas leak goes. So I believe you're in good shape.
All right.
Ms. Case, we appreciate your business and being a natural gas customer. We're on call 24 hours, 7 days a week. If there's anything that you ever need, give us a call. We'll be more than glad to come out and check anything that you need.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Portions of this program are brought to you by Curry Companies and Curry Residential, your Caldwell banker, providing real estate services since 1902.
Dublin Ford Lincoln has built our business by forming many great friendships. Ben East is one of those friends.
No type of pressure at any point in time to buy. It was just a matter of if I wanted to do it or not. And that's what I enjoyed, was there was no pressure. It makes you're able to think clearly, and you're not getting pressured to do anything that you don't want to do. And so that was a very, very good way to do business, in my opinion.
Others call you customers, we call you friends. That's Dublin Ford Lincoln.
Lawrence County's leader in hometown banking is Farmers State Bank. From our customer service professionals to our mortgage specialist or any of our professional lenders, we're committed to making banking as easy as FSB. Farmers State Bank, with locations in Dublin and Cadwell, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Stop by today and find out why we make banking as easy as FSB.
All right, so Coach, right before we went to break, we were talking a little bit about food, about how important nutrition is, and and we were talking about water too. You said back in the day, it was almost a reward for us, or it was a way to show that, hey, I'm gonna be the toughest dude. I can last, and I don't need your water. But it's more important to get that and stay hydrated, like we were saying. But man, Friday night comes along. You get hyped up, everybody, you don't want them going anywhere, everybody's self-contained if it's a home game like we have coming up. And then you have somebody from the community come in and provide a meal for you. How do you work that, and who's helping out?
We've got a couple team moms that handle that. This year, Noelle Ramsey is handling that for us. She contacts a lot of the local churches. And every Friday, we have a different local church that provides food for us. They'll cook, and they'll come up and feed us in the cafeteria and really take care of our guys and give a little devotion, and try and speak some positivity into the lives of these guys. And it's been a great blessing for us and for our team, for the local churches that do that in our community. We're so very appreciative of that. But that way we know they get a good meal at 3:30 every day and get their bodies ready for the war they're going to go into that night.
Yeah, that's just incredible that the churches, the local families, come in and provide that for them. And like you say, speak truth over them and encourage them, because it may be the only opportunity some of them get. But if you think about it beyond that, Coach, what's this business about the water crew that comes out from Liberty?
Yeah, we have a group from Liberty Baptist Church, which is my home church, and they're called the 12th Man Ministry, and they do us, and they do some of the other schools. I think they may do Dublin as well, and maybe even East Lawrence. But they come out and they send a crew out every Friday night, and they pack all our stuff on away games. They take all our stuff to the sideline on home games and make sure everything's set up, make sure everything's ready to go, and they help with the water and all that. It's really a blessing because it takes that off coaches. As coaches, if they're not doing it, we're packing stuff up. We're getting stuff to the sideline. We're doing all this extra stuff, and it really allows us to focus on the guys, focus on the game, and get ready for what's going on. So it's a huge blessing to have that 12th Man Ministry out there.
So they help you pack up before an away game?
Yeah, they'll come in Friday, right after we eat pregame, and they'll start loading all our stuff up. They've learned what we take and how we do it, and they get it all on the truck. They bring the trailer out, load everything, get all our kids' bags on there, and when we get to the game, they unload it, set up the sideline, and it's like having your own moving company every Friday.
That's incredible.
It's great, absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
it's the only place I've ever been where we've had that. Everywhere else I've ever coached, it's always been coaches that had to do that. And that's stressful. That's a lot of extra hours on us, a lot of extra work we got to think of. But it's great to have those guys.
Man, that is incredible. And then I saw them providing water on the sideline.
Yep, they do. They fill up the coolers, keep the coolers full, keep all the water ready between timeouts. They're out there helping the water girls and helping the managers and doing all that stuff. So it's great, absolutely.
Hats off to you people that do that, man. That is incredible. So, Coach, how we look on injuries, because after a couple of tough games, Dodge was physical.
Right, yeah. It's getting that time of year where you get creeping toward that midseason that everybody's got something little going on, a little bang here, a little bruise there. We don't have any major injuries right now. We're pretty healthy. I think everybody's going to be ready to go on Friday. But we do have a couple guys that are battling just little things, but that's football. If you're a physical team and you play a physical game, you're going to be beat up as the season goes on. But we're pushing through those things, and, the off week helps. But sometimes even the off week, you're still practicing. We're still out there contacting a little bit.
Right.
You get banged up a little bit as well. But so far, so good. Hopefully we can keep that trend going.
Yeah, and we talk about it so many times, the endurance that they have, the ability to overcome minor injuries, you might say, or pains. Right. A lot of that comes from being tough in the weight room, Coach.
Yeah, and we've talked about it on here before, but there's a big difference in being injured and being hurt. If you're playing the game right, you're going to be hurt. If you're injured, you can't go. Being hurt means I can go. It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And if you're a player, you're going to be hurt. Because you're out there going for your team. Now, if you're injured and you can't go, that's when we got to pull you out and we got to get someone else in there. But we do preach that a lot in the weight room too, because it's real easy to come in that weight room and not feel like working out and say, well, my shoulder hurts, I don't think I'm going to lift. And we don't give that option to them. You get in there and lift, or we're going to send you to the orthopedic, and if he says you can't lift, then we'll have an alternate lift for you to do or something else for you to do. But you're not going to come in saying I don't feel like doing something and get out of it, which is kind of a statement on our society nowadays. We are a society that preaches you do what you feel, and every feeling matters. And I'm not trying to discount feelings, but sometimes in life, to be successful, you got to do what you don't feel like doing. You know, there's lots of days I don't feel like getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and coming to work, but I do it anyway because people are depending on me to do my job. And that's what we tell our kids. Your brothers are depending on you to do your job, and your job is to be at in the best possible shape you can be and at peak condition when game time comes.
Yeah. So, Coach, let's talk just for a minute. So maybe we share a little insight with people that coaches, parents that may not understand. When you say you have a very stringent weightlifting program, now that's an accurate statement for y'all. Y'all work hard in the weight room. I know you know it, you live it. But you have a system worked out, whereas you coming up on game time, you're not going to go in there and have a big leg day the morning of a game.
Oh, yeah. No, I think there's some common sense involved in that. You know, we do our heavy lower lifts early in the week on Mondays, you know, and then as the week progresses, we lighten up with those athletes. You know, we lift Monday through Thursday. Friday, we'll do a light, some light work, some things that are more flexibility, body stabilization type stuff, getting ready for the game. But yeah, we're not going in there on Thursday and hammering heavy power cleans or anything like that. You know, these guys are athletes. They're the ones going out there on Friday nights. We want them to be prepared and in the best possible shape. We want them to peak when Friday gets here and not to be wore out and recovering when Friday gets here.
Yeah. So it's just good advice for you. Ladies and gentlemen, with your kids, if you're a coach, you know, you got to be rational about it. It's important to be in the weight room, but when it's game day, you got to take it a little light.
And you train a little differently in season than you do in the off season. You know, we cut down on the volume, the amount of lifts and stuff we're doing during in season, simply because after school we're getting another workout in out on that grass. You know, so we you know, now in the spring it's different. Now we're hammering that thing in the weight room because after school a lot of those guys are going home or they're going to a second sport, which isn't quite as physical. You know, is going out there and tackling each other for 2 hours a day or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do modify it a little bit.
Mm-hmm. All right, just some good advice from Coach. We're going to take a look at the game coming up Friday night. We'll take a short break and be right back with Coach. You can stay with us.
Allen's Heating and Cooling is your licensed Amana equipment dealer. Trust Allen's Heating and Cooling to install and service your heating and cooling unit. Allen services all brands, and with the purchase of a new Amana, offers a lifetime compressor warranty. Call Sean Clark or any of his friendly staff at Allen's Heating and Cooling, your Amana dealer. Amana lasts and lasts and lasts.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
Out here, there are many jobs to do. You need the kind of power, versatility, and comfortable handling that comes with your territory. You need the tractor built to pull all that weight. The Kubota L Series is what you need out here. Right now, get an L Series for 0 down with 1.99% APR financing for up to 84 months, plus a 6-year warranty.
Your local Kubota dealer is Mid-State Tractor and Equipment. If you're looking for quality equipment and exceptional service provided by trained experts, see Mid-State Tractor and Equipment, 1325 North Jefferson, Dublin. Check us out online or call us at 272-2198. Get your equipment ready for this season. Subcompact, compact, economy, utility, special, agriculture, and other construction and farm tractors and implements. Choose Kubota zero-turn mowers that are proven to provide excellence. Let us help you find the right equipment to meet your lawn care needs. And our utility vehicles are engineered to keep you moving. From mid-size to full-size RTVs. Get groundbreaking levels of performance and productivity at your local Kubota dealer, Mid-State Tractor and Equipment.
Jeff Shepard here at Roach Farm and Garden. Deer season is here. Come to see us at Roach Farm and Garden. We got all your deer hunt necessities. We carry 5-way, 3-way, Harvest Advantage, iron clay peas, wheats and oats, daikon radishes, a bruiser rye, and big boss rye, buck forage and annual rye. We will make your food plots look right. We have all your supplies of deer feed, 17 and 24% protein, QDM and 4S. We even carry 4S draw in the block and bags. And when you get that deer, we've got something to cook him with, from grills to griddles to your deep fryers. You want clothes? We got a full line of Georgia Boot, Rocky Boot, and all the Carhartt that you could need. And for your pelletized grill, we have any flavor you need. We have ladder stands by Millennium and Amerstep, replacement seats, protein blocks, salt blocks, and attractants, and a full line of coolers. And don't forget to pick your supply up of Voodoo while you're in there. It's at the counter. Don't forget, everything you need for deer season is right here at Roach Farm and Garden. 2 locations, Wrightsville and Dublin.
All right, Coach, back with you. Now, we want to talk this week about South Effingham, the Mustangs, and I guess this is the 4th or so year we played them?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
4th year. And you know, they're a really good football team this year. I don't want anybody to think, well, I can look at past year scores and kind of get a feel for this game. They got a new head coach this year, got a new staff in there, had some really good players transfer in or move in. A couple kids with D1 offers. I think they got 3 kids with D1 offers on the team, a running back, offensive lineman, and another kid that does a couple different things. So, you know, they've got good players. They've got really good coaching going on this year. Their offense coordinator, or their head coach was the offense coordinator at Lee County. So he's been around success. He knows how to win. Yeah. And those kids are believing. They're playing hard. They're very sound offensively and defensively. They got athletes. They're undefeated, you know, and they're averaging 44 points a game. So I would think that they're a really good football team. They're a lot like us. I think it's going to be a war on Friday. I think it's going to be a really close game. And I think if we don't play well, you know, we can lose for sure. So I don't want any. I've been preaching to our kids, you can't look at the last few scores. You can't look at last year. You can't compare that. Completely different team, completely different year, completely different game. Yeah. And we better be ready or we're going to be in trouble on Friday. Yeah,
we know how much coaching makes a difference. Absolutely. And then to have a couple of kids come in from somewhere else, but they've always looked good.
Right, yeah, they've always had good-looking kids, and I think their previous staff did a good job with them, but, you know, sometimes you get a change. It brings a little more excitement in there, and guys are out and feeling good about the program, but they've done a great job, and they've got those kids in the right positions. You know, they're taking advantage of the talent they have. They got a really good quarterback. I mean, he's probably the best one we've seen yet up to this point this year, and they do some good things. So it's gonna be tough for us for sure.
Yeah. So everybody in the box is healthy, and that's where, in your opinion, would you say that's where it's going to come down to, that pressure from the box?
Well, you know, obviously going into every Friday night, we want to be able to, you know, control the run. I mean, they do want to run more than they throw it, but when they do throw it, they're very successful. Like I said, the quarterback has a great arm. He's a really good player, makes really good decisions. You know, our philosophy has always been stop the run first and then work on the pass. I think in high school football, you win a lot of games if you do that. You know, we got to protect up front. They want to blitz a lot, send a lot of pressure out of their odd front. So, you know, if we can protect up front and give AJ time, I think that we'll be okay there. But again, that all comes down to how kids perform on Friday night. You know, we can rep it, we can install it, we can teach it, but they got to come out and they got to execute it for sure.
Coach, I'm just thrilled this year about the offensive line. Mm-hmm. I know you are as well.
Oh, yeah.
Good things are coming along. You want that to continue. Now, you know, sometimes you get right in there and you may see a little breakdown with something. You know, you don't want to see that. But what fundamentals are you still working on? The very basics of blocking? You mentioned earlier, even this week, you know, you're doing tackling drills right on. You still do that during the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, because the bottom line is football is blocking and tackling. If you can block and you can tackle, you got a chance to be pretty good, you know. Oh, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna, and I think most coaches will do that. We're gonna work blocking and tackling, basic fundamentals all year long. You know, I know with our defensive guys, we have what we call EDDs, or everyday drills, that every day for however long the season lasts, you're going to do these same drills because these are the fundamentals that you're going to do on every snap of the football. And so every week we're going to do a tackling circuit. We're going to incorporate tackling drills into all our practices. I mean, we're going to do those things because if you can't block and you can't tackle, you're not playing football. You know?
Yeah, you're not going to win. You're
That's
not
right.
Be successful. You're not playing football. You're right. You may be out there, but you do see that in some situation, Coach. You know, not, but you know, they don't continue to. Coaches don't continue to do that. The team must do that on every level. If you got a rec team, if it's middle school, whatever it is,
right.
You got to tackle. You got to block. You got to continuously work on that.
Right.
Or you slack off.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can draw up all the great plays you want on the board. You know, all you want to. But if you can't get kids to go out there and get in the right spot and then wrap up and tackle people or block, you know, defenders and give your quarterback time or open up holes for your running back, all the X's and O's on the board don't matter, you know, so you got to be able to execute those things.
Yeah. All right, Coach, we're talking about their offense. They got a pretty good quarterback. They have decent receivers. They got some height.
Yeah, like I said, they really resemble us. They got a really good quarterback who's a smart kid apparently, makes good decisions, who takes care of the football, got a phenomenal arm. They got at least one or two solid receivers out there. They got one really good one, and then a couple other tall kids. They got a really good running back who's committed to Vanderbilt, I think. So, he's a heck of a player. They're big up front. They've always had big linemen up front, and they're doing a good job of executing their assignments up there. So offensively, I mean, you average 44 points a game and you're undefeated. You're doing something right,
Yeah. How many points they giving up? Do you?
They give up about 25, 26 a game. So the last week they won their rival game with Effingham County 41-27, and that's kind of similar to what their scores have been, somewhere in that. So, some teams have scored on them, but some of those touchdowns have been late in the game after it was decided, and not all of them have been on the defense. So they're doing some good things on that side of the ball too.
Yeah. So what would you say the weak part of the defense is if you had to choose one?
I don't know if they have just an outstanding weakness. They got a bunch of guys that are very similar that kind of work together. When you look at us on defense, I think our front seven all really work together, and I wouldn't say that, one of them is a weak point. Same thing about them. They do a good job of playing good assignment football and getting where they're supposed to be as a unit, which is usually a indicator of a pretty well-coached defense.
Yeah.
So, I think that they're solid on both sides of the ball.
It kind of scares you a little bit.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're right up there with some of the better teams we've played so far. This is definitely not a gimme game or anything like that. Just because we've won big the last few years, it's a much different football team. 2 undefeated teams going at it Friday, and one of us is going to come away with a loss, and it could be either one if we don't play well.
So it's 7:30 kickoff time.
Yes,
you want everybody here early.
That's right.
Loud
That's
and
right.
proud.
Amen.
Make a lot of noise because it'll be an electric game. I hadn't been home in a couple weeks. Seems like forever.
Yeah, since the week opener against East Lawrence. That's right.
Yeah, with an open week, I mean, it really does seem like, and it has been a little while. So you want to turn out, ladies and gentlemen, you want to see a great game. You want to support these coaches. Coach, will you please run through your coaches for us again and just make sure everybody knows who you got? You got a great team of coaches.
Yeah, sure. On the offensive side of the football, Jason Respert is our offensive coordinator. Tyler Rogers has been working the offensive line this year. His first year over there, done a great job with those guys. Von Merkerson works with our running backs, does an outstanding job. Stephen Edwards is our wide receivers coach, brought him in last year, I believe, has done a great job for us coming in. So they've got a solid staff over there. Also, Mitch Lawhorn works with our young offense, our 9th grade C-team offense. He works with those guys on that side of the ball as well. Defensively, I coach the secondary. Also, Cedric Jordan helps me back there in the secondary. He's a community coach that does good for us. Whitney Alligood is our linebackers coach, and he has the title of defensive coordinator, does a lot of the extra stuff to help us get ready on Friday nights, and he's been here for years, done a great job also with those linebackers. Outside linebackers, we have Rod Waits and Eddie Floyd. Both work those guys, our Bandit and our Rovers out there, and they do a great job with them. And Dwayne Gibson works our defensive line. He's been here for years, so people will know that name.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate all you do. I mean, it's just hard work day in and day out. But, hey, success is what it's all about. And so far, so good. We wish you much success this Friday night. Once again, we invite you to turn out. 7 o'clock, 7:15, come on out. Get out in plenty of time. Get loud for the pregame show. Let the players and coaches know when they come on the field that you're there to support the Raiders. Best of luck to you, Coach. Thanks again.
Appreciate it, man.
Shopping for SUVs? Dublin Chevrolet will save you money.
Drive the new 2020 Chevy Traverse for as low as $31,599.
Call, click, or come see us. Dublin Chevrolet, the only dealer you will ever need.